Good morning. How's it going? 1195th CSM Aschinger coming to you from my own basement at the beautiful early morning time of 0624 hours. This month's video is entirely about finding the discipline to get ourselves back into that physical fitness that sometimes we have a struggle with. So time is usually the biggest thing that comes up. Some recommended readings that I'm working with right now: David Goggins' Can't Hurt Me and Dave Goggins' Never Finished. Those books will blow your mind. If you want something a little bit lighter, so how about Motivation by Jocko Willink? But read either one of those books to help get yourself back into that feeling. For me, myself, time being an issue, I'm currently a single dad in it with 4 kids. My wife is off on Air Force. So what do? I set the clock a little bit earlier. I get my workout done earlier, and then I'm deceptively athletic yet again when the next ACFT comes. Get that workout done before the kids are even up. And that little accomplishment in the morning, saying I did that, man, it carries with you throughout the rest of the day. So I'm not really the subject matter expert on this. I stay pretty fit, but I know a guy, one of the best NCOs I've ever served with, Sergeant First Class, retired James Taulbee, who also owns Fire for Effect Athletics out of Philly. I'm going to give it over to James Taulbee to teach us how to develop the discipline to do the things that we need to do for our own health and fitness. Take it away, Sergeant James Taulbee.
Thanks for the intro, Sergeant Major Aschinger. You guys were probably expecting someone that looks different, but hey, I'm retired. You'll get here someday too. Like the Sergeant Major said, I am retired Sergeant First Class James Taulbee. I am now the owner of Fire for Effect Athletics in Philadelphia. He reached out and asked if I would be willing to share some tips and tricks in regards to making PT not a chore, making it something that your troops want to do, maybe even yourselves, okay? So my first rule of thumb is what I call the magic wand rule, okay? What are you talking about, James? Well, it's like this. There's a lot of like quips and, how do I want to say it, shortcuts out there, I would say, where people kind of lazily lean back on, well, I'm happy with the way I look. I'm happy with the way I feel. Or sometimes it's like, hey, mind your own business kind of thing. All right, well, here's the thing. The technique that I've come up with over time to kind of circumvent that is what I call the magic wand rule. The magic wand rule is, if a magic wand was a real thing, or a genie, or wishing upon a star, here's just the cold hard facts. There would not be a single not fit or overweight person in the world. If everyone, if they could have that magic wand, there would be 6 packs to the horizon. So the real question is, how many of you are willing to actually work for that? Okay, are you a wish or a work person? Okay, when you poke people in the pride like that, from my experience, it does something to kind of awaken something in them. But it's not a once and done. So my advice would be, kind of, stay on them about that. You know what I mean? Do you have the wherewithal and the self-respect to be your best version of you? Okay. The next one is just being honest with yourself. I spent, again, 22 years in uniform between the Marine Corps and the Army. I'm an infantryman by trade. So, everyone has football stories and wrestling stories and boxing stories and martial arts stories and things like that. The question is, instead of just talking about your glory days, why not get that back, okay? But you can't get that back unless you are true to yourself about like where you stand in regards to your physical fitness and your physical well-being right now, okay? Being out of shape, it sucks. We've all been there before, but it's not a life sentence, okay? So, honesty. Next is finding a fitness regimen that works for you, okay? And this is sometimes a hard pitch to people in uniform, okay? Because the military is the military, and they have standardized PT, and, they're starting to loosen the reins on that and starting to understand and admit that it's caused a lot of chronic injuries. I see guys at the VA with just backs, hips, knees, just destroyed, okay? This is kind of the Renaissance period of fitness, okay? I got into CrossFit back in 2010 approximately. I found strongman through CrossFit, and that really became my love. Now before that I was already PTing, but it was the obligatory, going to LA Fitness, running lots of miles, and all it got me was a hurt back and chewed up knees. And while I was never in danger of failing a PT test, I've always been, a strong PTer. My PT also wasn't noteworthy. I found a methodology that I could be passionate about, and I was not looking to improve my PFT, but my PFT just went through the roof. Ladies and gentlemen, there is CrossFit, there's strongman, there's powerlifting, there is steel mace flow, there's martial arts, and the list just goes on and on and on. So encourage them, maybe even invite some of these fitness professionals to drill weekend. Mix it up a little bit, make them understand that fitness does not have to be a chore, okay? And the payoff is that if you're building your anaerobic capacity through, let's say, CrossFit, your heart and lungs don't know that you're not running. They just know that they're building, okay? So when the day of the APFT comes around, it's just work. It's easy, okay? Setting a schedule, setting alarms, okay? This is one of the things that people really battle with, is they have good intentions, but they don't, they say, I'll start tomorrow, and then they don't set an alarm, or they don't set a reminder or anything like that. And then they go, oh, doggone it, I was gonna start working out today, I'll do it Monday. And then that day never comes. Acknowledge that you're bad. I feel like we're all pretty bad at that, okay? Admit that kind of falls into the being honest with yourself portion too, and set little reminders, maybe even add a battle buddy to it, because now you have someone that's gonna keep you accountable. If you were gonna meet somebody at the gym and you stand them up, now you have somebody, keeping you accountable. Last and certainly not least, I will say this, and I don't mean this to sound melodramatic or anything like this, but this really comes from my heart. Remembering that fitness and wellness and being here to do those things is a gift. Ladies and gentlemen, we've all worn the uniform, and I would venture to say that the vast majority of you who are listening to this have probably lost somebody or had someone who really got chewed up over the course of the past 20 some odd years since 2001. We get to be here, and I personally think that to go an entire lifetime without finding out what your body is capable is just a travesty, okay? Consistency among other things, okay? You be excited about fitness. You be excited about new PRs, that means personal record. Things like that. When you change the culture, that's when everything else starts to change, okay? We slipped over the past couple of years in regards to fitness, but it's not a life sentence. We can make this fun again. You all are capable of doing this. I have all the faith in the world in you. I'm easy to get a hold of. If you ever want me to come out and chat to your people about physical fitness, again, I'm easy to get a hold of. Just send me some TDY money. All right, guys, I hope this hasn't been too boring. I hope this is what you were looking for, Sergeant Major. Look forward to talking to you again. Get it done, y'all.